Okay, typing. Okay, are we back? Okay, type. Sounds it. Yes. Yeah. Fuck's sake. God. Yeah. Honestly, that's what happens when Chappers joins the stream. Sorry, I just have to. We have a big red button that says Chappers on it here, so I have to. Bib was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." So, how much did you see? Was Bibby still here when it went off? Because if he did, I was chatting to myself for like 5 minutes after that, maybe 2 minutes after that, or what? More crashes than a diabetic. Yeah. So I don't actually know where we got to. Did you see me talking about Spike mentioned Forza. Did you see me talk about Forza? Because Spike mentioned that in the comments, and I picked up on it then. Didn't realize we were playing Cyberpunk. Yeah, this is the Cyberpunk roleplay. So, I went off like a minute max. Oh, okay. So, did you get the Forza bit then? When I was Spike mentioned that Forza never really changed anything. It never improved on Gran Turismo, which I agreed with and said it gave incremental improvements, but didn't really reset. Not that it moved the bar, but it didn't create anything new. It didn't create a new bar. Did you get that bit? Was I think the way I said it. Anyway, if you didn't, I will just move on anyway. Yes, Forza covered. Nice. Okay. Forwarding through, we got past the Atari links. The bit where Gary said that he worked at Virgin Megastore, you may not have got that bit. And he says he worked at Virgin Megastore and he remembers the big Xbox cabinet. Yeah, it was huge. There you go. If we're talking Game Gear battery death, my brother had the TV adapter, 10 minutes of TV, and you're done. And okay. Original Xbox I was sold on once I knew and saw what it was capable of doing, being modded. I know that from personal angle. A lot of people I know were essentially that. They bought an Xbox knowing that it was. I mean, what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was called. There was a media thing. There was like a media dashboard that was set up for the Xbox, and people customized it so that you could play films and movies and TVs and everything. And that is essentially what has led to Kodi and things like that now. What is it called? The Xbox. Do you know what? I will ask Mark. Mark will know. Or maybe might know. The Xbox.
Sorry about that.
The Xbox was modded.
Yes. I didn't have one.
No, but like there was a media Xbox. I'm going to Google it. There's an Xbox media. XBMC, Xbox Media Center. That's what it was. XBMC. So yeah, Madge has mentioned that a lot of people. He was sold on it once he saw what could be done with the Xbox once it was modded, and a lot of people I know, and that led to a huge modding community. The XBMC was still going a couple of years ago, and I think it has been like, if not fully absorbed by Kodi or changed into Kodi, but it kind of led to that sort of thing.
It wasn't that long ago that you buy an Android box off like Amazon, and it had already come pre-installed XBMC and Kodi with the two things that already came installed with, as well as like, is it ES File Explorer, where you could have like your PC on upstairs, and if you had it tied to your Wi-Fi, you could access all the media that was on your PC, so you could watch it anywhere else in the house.
Yeah, I mean that's effectively how Mark views his content. He has a NAS set up so that all his media he puts on his server, and then just he can watch it on his phone while he's out or whatever. It's like, it's like, you should get a NAS. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm technical, but I'm not that technical, so I'll leave it alone.
Who downloads anything nowadays? Like, I don't know anyone who still downloads like movies or stuff like that. They either like, is it? I always get his gamer tag wrong. His tag wrong. It's Mad Mav, I think. Speak to him all the time. Yeah, Maverick99. He always ends up buying.
It's Mad Max, by the way. I've seen the film. It's Mad Max.
Buying stuff off iTunes. I've never known anyone to buy as much as he does. You know, I feel like movies and stuff like that. It's all 4K stuff, and it'll be like down a film that he likes it down to £2, and he goes on and buys it. I literally stream everything now.
Yeah, same. I mean, we bought a few things off Sky, although we did get swizzed off Sky. Sky was like, you get one film to buy and keep, and we'll send you the DVD version. So this was like 5 years ago. We bought Star Wars, Force Awakens, brand new Star Wars films coming out Christmas. So we bought that film, got the DVD, got to keep it. We've obviously got rid of the DVD because who watches DVDs now? And Sky just don't remember that they gave us the film, so it's not on our box anymore. Fuckers! So, yeah. I mean,
it's Rise of Skywalker?
No, the first one, the Episode 7, the Star Wars Force Awakens. Okay. So you go back that far, 3 films back. I mean, it did come on and then was available to watch, but like what Sky tend to do is, well, they will, watch it. It's on demand. Do whatever you want. Just watch it whenever. There's a new Star Wars film coming. Oh shit! Take it off. Okay, it's $4.99 to watch that film, and it's like, oh, nobody wants to watch it anymore. Okay, it's free again now. Then so supply and demand. Anyway, where did we get to? I've watched High Score. It was an okay watch, but misses a lot of the things out that were huge with gaming. Definitely worth the watch. Like Bib said, it goes through the history of gaming from the start. Vern says the Dreamcast was such a good machine, just never got the support it deserved, in my opinion. Agreed. Thomas Adams says the Dreamcast was what got me to love games. Tito says Dreamcast was my favourite console. First console to do online VMU. It was innovative. It was a good console. Shame Jim Butters is not in this chat because he talked to you about it for hours. It was amazing for its short lifespan. There were some great titles on it at the time. Thomas Adams says I've been trying to find a decent Dreamcast boxed in mint condition for a decent price for a while now.
I think you've been waiting a long time for that, mate.
That's where you need like car boot sales and Facebook Marketplace, where you've just got like Grandad Jim, who's just got.
Man's kept it in a loft. For
yeah, exactly. And now I've caught up to the chat. I think we are off sync.
I think. Right, one sec.
Oh, there you go. You can see what we were talking about. There you go. Ta-da! Hi, Red.
I'm back, bitches.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Just got up to the chat where Vern says, I thought my internet had gone. Chapper says, bloody hell, I show up and the stream caboots. Madge says, has Bibby been tinkering? So, yeah, when you were out of the room, my internet shit itself. And I think that's because I'm at home, Danielle's at home working, and Chloe's at home homeschooling. So, basically, my internet has been smashed to shit. So, there we go. And Vern says, more crashes than diabetic. Bibby was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Cody is XBMC. They changed it when they became more legit. Well, that's it, yeah. So XBMC, Cody, which is still very present now for a lot of people, came from Xbox modding. That is how influential the modding was on Xbox. There you go. I download, says David. I like having the films locally. All legit and legal stuff, obviously.
He owns a copy already. He just likes to have it on a USB stick.
Anyway, let's move forward. I can't tell how far into the stream we are because it all went offline. It says we've been live for 8 minutes. So, yeah.
I can tell you. 50 minutes.
50 minutes. Okay, well, let's jump into the second story of the day. We'll pick up the pace a little bit now, as this one is a little bit more modern, but not 100%. As Andy Robinson at VGC says, Sony confirms PS4 Pro and all but one PS4 model have been discontinued. Firm will divert production to PS5, it's claimed. Sony Interactive Entertainment has officially discontinued the PS4 Pro and all but one model of the original PlayStation 4 in Japan. As reported by Japanese publication Game Watch, the only last-gen console Sony will continue to sell in Japan is the standard Jet Black 500GB PS4 Slim model. All other PS4 consoles will disappear once current stock is sold, the publication reports, and Sony Interactive Entertainment will divert production to PS5. There's currently no information on whether the PS4 Pro will be discontinued in Western markets. However, last month, the official PlayStation US store briefly stated that it would no longer offer PS4 Pro consoles for sale, suggesting that that the premium last-gen console could be discontinued. Shortly after press coverage highlighted the statement, PlayStation Direct removed the message, stating that it no longer planned to stock PS4 Pro in the future, although the console remains unavailable. VGC has contacted PlayStation for comment and will update this article when we receive a response. Considering the strong early demand for PS5 and the company's stated ambition to transition players to the next gen console at a scale and pace that we've never delivered on before, it would be unsurprising if it were to begin phasing out the older system in other territories, even if it plans to support it with software for several more years. Let's leave it there. So PS4 Pro and all but one model, the PS4 Jet Black standard slim console, are being canned in Japan. What are your thoughts, Bib?
I thought this might have been a bit too soon. Like, we're not even 2 months. We're not even 2 months away from the console being launched, as in the PS5. So, to get rid of your PlayStation 4 Pro and your original PlayStation and just keeping the slim one, I think this might be a bit too soon, considering you can't even get hold of a PS5 now. I mean, fair enough. Then with their all that, they've obviously made this decision based on the number of PS4s that are being sold. Whether or not that's the PS4 Pro, or just in general, PS4s clearly are in decline over in Japan. But pulling the plug this soon, that's very strange to me anyway. Not being able to pick up a PlayStation 4 Pro if your PlayStation 4 Pro dies and you haven't got the money to be able to buy a PlayStation 5. I don't know. I think this might be a little bit too soon, but I don't know the ins and the outs of how much these are over there and if it's a very similar price. So if the PlayStation 4 Pro is like £300 and then the PlayStation 5 is £450 or the equivalent to what it is over there, fair enough, you may end up going for the PlayStation 5 anyway. But removing all but one of the SKUs this soon, I don't know. I mean, you can't even get hold of a PlayStation 5 anywhere in the world.
Maybe that maybe that is the reasoning. So the other side of the coin could be that they have stopped producing the PS4 Pro and the PS4 standard versions and any other version of the PS4 Pros apart from the Slim, purely because the factories that have been created to mass produce these PS4s could be within a few weeks converted to do the same thing but for PS5s. And obviously if they can't get enough PS5s out there, perhaps that's a move to, okay, everyone has PS4s, we've got a backlog of PS4s potentially, we don't have enough PS5s, let's just stop that now and move on quickly. I mean, they did say they believe in generations heavily, whereas the Xbox was more, Xbox is an ecosystem that you can play in. You'll get different outputs depending on the devices that you use, but you can play in it. Just play Xbox. Yeah. Whereas PlayStation was like, nope, PS4, PS5. So this would tie in with that, a decisive step towards the next gen. But yeah, I mean, usually I would say it's a bit too soon. But then again, we're in such a weird time right now. Maybe this is the best way for them to account for the backlog of consoles that they need because they missed out on 3 months production time last year. So yeah, I would say it's not surprising for me. Maybe a bit soon, but then again, I mean, they clearly know what's best, so I'll shut my mouth. La Roche, morning lads, welcome in, dude. How's things? Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. Welcome back. Hair Crocodile, good morning as well, Hair Crocodile. How's things? I run Cody on 5 different devices, all synced up using Jellyfin. See, and that's the beauty of Cody. Like once you understand what you're doing with it, it's wonderful. As long as you completely only use it for legal broadcasting purposes, obviously. But yeah. Where did we get to? Spike says Jetpack is actually a better description. I mean, I turn mine on and I feel like I'm in a wind tunnel. What, the PS4 Pro? Yeah. I know that feeling. Is it not a strategy so that they push more PS5 consoles because some people who are on PS4 Slim, rather than getting a Pro, they have no choice but to get a PS5? I think so. That's probably core underlying strategy now for every decision. How can we ship more of the next gen? How can we move people forward? My only concern is the bit that I often forget about, which Bibi mentioned, maybe it's too soon. There is a little bit of that lingering around, and this comes from my experience with the PES community. PES, obviously, it's easy to be ethnocentric. It's easy to look at things from your own ethical, geographical, societal, whatever standpoints and go, okay, this is fine. Everyone's got a PS5 or getting one now. I mean, I think everyone's got a PS5 because I've had one for a couple of months. In reality, shitloads of people still haven't got one. But forgetting PS5s, I'm looking forward to what else I can get for my PS5s, because that's what matters to me ethnocentrically. And when I mentioned the PES community, I remember talking about the PS4. I've got a PS4. I'm talking about what games I can play on the PS4, how I can get the best out of PES on the PS4. And I remember speaking to someone from the Latin American community, and he was playing on a PS2. I was like, who's still playing the PS2? He's like, I'm playing a PS2 because I genuinely can't afford a PS3, let alone a PS4. So I still play games on my PS2 because it's just not feasibly possible. The only reason I've got this game for my PS2 is because I've done 60-hour weeks for 6 months, and the money that I've saved up has allowed me to get the game for my PS2. And I'm thinking, fuck. So you don't realize just how privileged you are. So when you're thinking, is it too soon to get rid of the PS4 Pros? For us, nah. For some areas of the world, potentially, and that's something that, I mean, we probably will never know. Like costs of the pandemic for that on less economically developed countries, the ones that are kind of lagging behind a couple of years because financially, like I said, they are less economically developed, so they may not be able to afford the softwares or the hardware and so on. If there's less hardware around, is that going to sting them in 5 or 6 years' time when they come together next gen consoles? Maybe. But anyway, that's a deep conversation, so let's move on from that one. Thing is, although they're discontinuing them, there are still thousands waiting to be sold. Big backlog, I imagine, says Gary. I agree, yeah. There's probably shipping containers that are all slowed down through the pandemic stuff as well, so 100%. Morning, lads. Great Crimbo. Mrs. had our baby, so no time to game at the moment. Wow, congratulations, dude. Hopefully...
Congratulations, mate.
Everything went smoothly, nice and quick birth, and hopefully the little one's doing good. Congratulations. Hey. Graham / Ice Cream Uploads is a wonderful name, by the way, just saying, just in case you haven't named the little one yet. You probably have, but if you haven't, just saying. David says, there might be some new official games for the next decade or so in Brazil. Like the Mega Drive, it had the last official game released in the mid-2000s over there. Yeah, potentially. The tax on video games and hardware in Brazil is insane. It's filth. It's absolute filth. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we'll move on because we're running out of time, and this article is one for me. So there you go. We were going to cover this yesterday. Bibby found this story just as we went live. Well, it was actually the story. Let me get rid of it a sec. It was actually player IGN. He's a content creator. I would say a PUBG content creator. He actually makes content, or used to make content for other games, but has recently focused on PUBG. And he is basically a data miner / leaker, but with a bit more class than just your general scatter leakers. Respected by the PUBG communities and the PUBG teams. They understand him. Anyway, long story short, he put some content out about PUBG 2 yesterday. We couldn't verify or see anything, and we didn't have any journalistic coverage of it, so we decided to leave it. Anyway, there has been a few articles on it today, so we've shoehorned it in for me. So Nathan Birch at WCCF Tech says, PUBG 2 reportedly in the works for both PC / console and mobile. So is it time for a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds sequel? While PUBG was once the hottest game in the world and still retains a solid user base, its star has unquestionably dimmed since competitors like Fortnite, Apex Legends and Call of Duty Warzone entered the fray. A full sequel may be just the thing needed to reheat the flagging PUBG brand. According to a recent report from Korean media outlet MTN, surfaced by PUBG leaker player IGN, an authentic sequel to PUBG is in fact in the works and has been for some time. No English translation of the story exists, but Google does reveal a few interesting tidbits. Apparently, Krafton, the new name for PUBG Corp, began staffing up their main Seoul offices for PUBG 2 as early as May 2019. Meanwhile, PUBG Mobile 2 is being developed in-house by the team that previously developed PUBG Lite for low-end PCs, which is why PUBG Lite, I imagine, has stopped being supported. Or it was because Bibby started playing it and they thought, well, that's it, game over. There's no point playing it anymore now. He's already won. So, yeah. One person that reportedly won't be involved in PUBG 2 is the titular, I love that name because it says anyway, the titular PlayerUnknown himself. It is, I mean, you say title and titling or anything like that is tight, but when you say that word, it changes tight to tit. So there you go, titular PlayerUnknown himself, Brendan Green, who has publicly stated in the past he doesn't want to make a PUBG sequel. Word is that hasn't changed, as Green is said to be working on a new IP at the recently established PUBG Amsterdam studio. Glenn Schofield's Crafton-funded studio Striking Distance recently announced the Dead Space-like horror game, The Callisto Protocol. So yeah, the masters of PUBG have a lot up their sleeves right now. Of course, take all of this info with a dash of salt for now. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long for confirmation. MTN hints that we may see a reveal of the new games in the first half of 2021. What do you all think about this stuff? So yeah, potentially, if the rumours are true, potentially PUBG 2 is in the works for both PC and console as well as mobile. Bib, thoughts?
What engine does the game run on? I haven't seen Robbo in here this morning.
Unreal.
Does it run on Unreal?
Yeah, that's where the do you remember there was a bit of a lawsuit between PUBG and Fortnite? PUBG uses Unreal Engine. I don't know if it still does, actually. It definitely did. PUBG was at least, I imagine it still does, because the amount of work that it would have taken to change the engine would be huge. But PUBG was built on Unreal Engine. Fortnite obviously was very similar to PUBG and the Battle Royale idea, so they took them to court saying that they basically looked at their notes when they were giving them the access to the engine, basically. But yeah.
Interesting. I honestly did not know that. I didn't think it was the Unreal Engine, but I was just thinking then how they're going to transfer over the gunplay and everything, all the gun mechanics. Because let's be honest, as much as I don't really play PUBG, the gunplay on PUBG is probably by far the best on any shooting game currently, and it has been for a while. In terms of the recoil, the bullet drop, the bullet patterns, it's the bullet sounds like the everything to do with the gunplay on PUBG is by far better than all the other battle royale or first person shooter games out there. How will that translate over to the new Unreal Engine? Because it's clearly not running on the new Unreal Engine on the PlayStation or Xbox or PC now. Yeah. How are they going to be able to bring all of that onto the new Unreal Engine if that's the case?
Yeah, just Googled it then. It is UE4, Unreal Engine 4. Yeah. I mean, I imagine if they are going to create a new PUBG or PUBG 2, we've said this before. I feel, and I've seen it even yesterday, the day before maybe, I saw Choco Taco, who's a TSM PUBG streamer, saying that he feels a PUBG 2 is needed to kind of revitalise the console, although the game, in terms of bringing new users back in, because the game is incredible once you understand it and you get that. Once you get bitten by it, it's wonderful. But a lot of people had bugs, and that's in beta and after beta, so I have been turned off and wouldn't go back to it. Sadly, first impressions, you don't get a second chance at them. So PUBG 2 is a new way to get a first impression. It's a different game. What's that?
It works with Fortnite majorly.
What, in terms of Save the World and then Battle Royale?
No, in terms of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge case study then. I mean, that wasn't even as significant as making PUBG 2, but it kind of was. It's a completely new chapter. It's forget everything, forget the world as you've known it. This is something new. This is a blank slate. Start again. You can now pick up players and run with them and stuff like that. So yeah,
blow the world up and then let people, because that's literally like the biggest thing that they could have done was blow the world up and just have the news cover it. There were dedicated Twitter channels that just had 3 days worth of someone floating in the air in the space that it was, until the game decided to until they brought out the new version of the game, and there was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people watching that at any one time.
Yeah,
it was the biggest thing I think I've ever seen in video games, and we've been around them for a very, very long time.
Just streams with like Chapter 2 waiting room as their title, 112,000 people watching, and it's like, okay, meanwhile you've got like some channel that's put shitloads of effort into something, 4 viewers. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was mental. That's the biggest thing they could have done was that. I don't think PUBG will do anything like that, because they're not. I don't think they're as quirky as Epic and Fortnite are in terms of being a bit cheesy. I don't think they're that cheesy, but I'm excited to see how they try and transfer over their audience from 1 to 2. I mean, I'll definitely give it a go again. I mean, I do occasionally play it. It's with you, but it might be like once a month, if that. I don't mind playing it. It's just not my kind of game. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how they bring the audience, especially with the likes of you, who pours every single minute of spare time that he has into it to try and do your dailies. I think you're the only person in the world that I know that does daily challenges on video games. I don't know anyone who would consecutively log in to a game every single day to do a daily challenge, and there's 3 of them, and then you'll spend BP to get another 3. Like, I just don't know anyone that does that. But you obviously be playing it ride or die. But it's trying to get the people like me who will play it occasionally to go over and try and play this PUBG too. I don't know how they're going to try and entice me to do that. I mean, being in the video game world, I will go over and play it regardless. I don't have to entice me. But there will be millions of people like me who've played the game previously that they need to. I don't even think they need to do anything different. It's just I don't click with it. The narrative isn't there for me.
It needs to. I would go one step further and say it doesn't even need to capture your attention in that sort of sense. It needs to capture the populace. That's what it needs to capture. The Tim the Tatmans, who sits there now playing Warzone, and just pisses and moans at the DMR is shit. I mean, I'm not saying pisses and moans in a negative sort of way. I really like Tim the Tatman, but we spend a lot of time moaning about how shit the DMR is. Did you see the Doc's tweet taking the piss out of Tim the Tatman's? Like saying the DMR has been nerfed. If you haven't, go watch it. It's really good.
I will most definitely watch it.
Anyway, so he'll sit there moaning, oh, it's not, because you will get it, any video game, it'll come out and it's new and everyone's like, this is amazing, I love it, high fives, yeah! And then obviously once you're used to it, people just like to be a bit more negative and criticising because you want it to be better. It's negative from a positive place. You try to be constructive with your criticism, sometimes not always. And that's when a new release captures the populace, and PUBG adding more content or changing content, particularly with content being added that hasn't quite resonated or has been a bit broken or not 100% working. People just aren't interested in new content. That will not capture the attention of the populace. What PUBG does need to do, though, is PUBG 2 full marketing campaign, shitloads of media spend to get it back in the hands, hearts and minds of content creators, of streamers, of YouTubers, so that it dominates the conversation. That will have more of an impact of getting players in than anything else. We've seen it when Shroud picks up the game, suddenly Steam numbers just go boop. I mean, half of them are trying to stream snipe him, but other than that, so yeah, that's definitely it. Anyway, picking up the pace, moving forward. Enough PUBG talk. Let's move on to we'll have our final article, and then we'll jump onto one last talking point at the end of it, because it's a bit too political for what we like to run over in a video games talk show. But this article, sticking with video games, new video games, IGN India reports that Respawn is working on a new game as a service. This is a report posted by Shunal Doke yesterday. Respawn is reportedly working on a new game that might use games as a service model. Caught by Deserter, a job listing posted on the studio's website indicated that it is working on a brand new IP. Details about the IP are sparse, other than the job listing apparently using new practical technologies that will enable adventuring forever. Sadly enough, at the time of writing, the job listing has been taken down and the website is a blank page. Respawn hasn't made any official announcements about its next project. The studio is famous for Apex Legends and the Titanfall series, but has also garnered critical praise for 2019's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. More recently, Respawn released the VR-only Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Very brief, but Respawn potentially working on something new. A job listing went up, and then potentially, maybe more telling, went down again. What are your thoughts, babe?
Like the chat's saying, because games of service model have worked so well lately. I'll reserve judgment on this until we actually hear something official from it. I genuinely have no idea what it could be. Nobody does. It's just a job listing. It's a very vague news story, as is, because it's not that long. It's literally just giving us an indication that something may be coming, but I'll reserve judgment until I actually see something later down the line, because it's the last couple of games have been a bit of a, like we've had, according to this, VR Medal of Honor, which I actually really liked the look of. I don't have a VR unit, so I'll never get to play it, but it looks really cool. And then Star Wars Fallen Order, and then
you should get yourself a copy of that, babe. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I know. You might be able to see it from here. It's on that shelf there behind the muscle move stuff. Just below Cyberpunk up there. But yeah, I mean, it could be Titanfall 3 for all we know. I have no idea. But yeah, I will personally reserve judgment until we hear something more, because at the moment it's just based off a job listing. We have no idea what it could be.
Yeah, there is a lot of negativity around games as a service, which I understand. But then again, my most played game is technically games as a service, so
it's mine.
So yeah, I mean,
online. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it has a bit of negative connotations. Not that there's anything wrong with games as a service. It's just that there's been a lot of examples of people going, so games as a service make a shitload of money. Yeah. Why don't we just make this into a game as a service? Have you fully thought through and planned out how to do it? Oh, well, we'll do that on the way. Yeah, but you need to understand where your end game. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, we've got a game. It's good. This will be lovely. Let's just put it into a service. Yeah, and then realizing that it's just ass and not properly thought through. Someone's just seen pound signs and video games online and gone, yeah, we do that. Nice, and just not fully twigged. So
I agree.
I mean, they are going to happen. Games as a service are going to happen. They are going to be made. So, if anything, a studio that has made Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was my game of 2019, made Apex Legends, which was, I mean, whether you still play it now or whether you didn't really get into it, Apex Legends was a huge success. Although, actually, stop. I need to say Apex Legends is a big sack of shit. And the reason I'm saying that is because EA emailed me at silly o'clock this morning with the tagline Fight Night. And I was like, what? What?
I've seen that.
Do you know, I'm going to see if my email is still here.
Morning, Jordan.
So I'm going to scroll my email off the screen. Oh, you can't even see it anyway, because if I move my phone forward, it goes off. But the tagline says, play the Fight Night event. And I was like, yes! Let me have a look at this. Click, 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 click. No, it's Fight Night is an event within Apex Legends. So it's not a boxing game made by EA. So anyway, yeah. I mean, it probably is a tie-in to Fight Night with it being an EA thing, but yeah, not what I wanted. So, but even still, taking that away, Apex Legends, huge success. Titanfall, loved by some people. Mark Bamba says Titanfall 2, I think it was, campaign is one of the best campaigns he's ever played in video games.
Yeah.
So with that mixture of things, Respawn, you have to feel if some company has a nice broad repertoire going into making a game as a service, then Respawn could do a good job of that. Potentially.
Agreed.
Games as a service equals an underdeveloped game with lots of microtransactions that promises a roadmap. Game release is bugged. Developer promises to fix it. Roadmap goes to the wayside. Game fades out of sight. Do you know what? Whilst that is incredibly negative, that is also incredibly relevant recently. So no, I agree, and that's the downside. Games as a service for me is nothing bad. That's what I want. Something that's open ended. I'm going to go down a path that hasn't been wrote yet, or a path that will then take me down another path that definitely hasn't been wrote yet. This one might have, the next one hasn't. Well, let's see how we go. I like the idea of that, but yeah, it's been done badly, which is where those views absolutely come from. I thought Bibby was about to do his impression of an auctioneer then. When? Has he got a hammer in his hand? It's sad because the core gameplay is awesome. Sadly, the mission design, loading time, and loot is awful. In regards to... Oh, never got into PUBG. Are you talking about PUBG there? Or are you talking about... Oh, Division 2. Oh, no, I don't know. You're talking about a game. Anyway, afternoon, NX. Jordan! Hey, welcome in, dude. Thanks for the sub yesterday, dude. How's things? Respawn also did Titanfall, to be fair. They were great games. So, yeah, I mean, Respawn have resources and have good experience developing games, so they could potentially be the one to upset the mainstream failure apple cart that's been going on. Anthem, yeah, I get you. I really don't mean it negatively. No, I'm just saying it's the sentiment is wrapped up. When you wrap it up, it is quite a negative view, but that's based on valid opinions. you could, if you're not going to say something's wonderful and whatever, if it's been shit, and it has been shit. So I don't mean you were being overly negative. I just meant that you were proposing it as a negative thing because that's what you've had to deal with. As a proposal, those types of games appeal to me hugely. However, I've fallen for the promise so much I just don't believe it anymore. I bought Anthem, I bought The Division and The Division 2, I bought Marvel Avengers. Yes, I'm an idiot. Let me be the first to say, no, it's shit. It's shit. It is shit.
You don't know until you try it. There's been lots of games that people have enjoyed that others haven't, and you don't know until you try it yourself. I mean, if you really liked the Division 1, buying Division 2 was inevitable. I ended up buying it later on down the line. But yeah, I mean, I bought it because I really enjoyed playing the Division 1. The Anthem, we talked about this on the show before the game came out. It shows how old this show is, to be fair. We've been going for like 18 months now, if not longer than that. But we were talking about that, and I said that game was going to be shit because I didn't see anything else apart from flying Iron Man looking suits. That's the only thing that I saw that looked half appealing. The rest of it didn't look great. And lo and behold, it did actually turn out to be shit. And I don't mean to be horrible when I say that, because I want every game to be good, but it just looked shit. They didn't show anything else that separated it from anything else.
I was still hugely disappointed by it because I saw mechanically something that looked incredible. Those suits and the graphics and the bit I always talk about is there's a bit that's really cheesy. It was an E3 presentation where there's scripted banter. You're watching as some people in a party chat are just playing games, talking about, how did you get on at the weekend? But you're always that kind of person. And it's like, you don't know each other. You're an actress. He's an actor. Shut up. Just play the game. Anyway, you get rid of that crap aside. The idea was to try and build that this is just people that are playing together online, doing their own lively things, and they all kind of know each other and how they play styles, and it's really cool. And I saw that and I thought, okay, cheesy, but this looks beautiful. It looks like you have the elements of success, but having the ingredients doesn't mean you can make a wonderful cake. And I know this because I can't bake, so there, have that. Anyway, let's jump on to one final article. Like I said, we don't shy away from politics on Ice Cream Uploads. We don't just tend to jump into it very much because there's a lot of places where you can get your politics conversation. We want to speak about video games. However, this one being very focused to Twitch, which is a platform that we're on right now, and leans into politics, we thought we'd mention it. You guys have probably used this in our chat, but Twitch removes the PogChamp emote after creators' controversial statement. This is written by Andrew Amos at Deserto.com, and it says, Twitch has removed the PogChamp emote from its platform after the face of the emote, Ryan Gutierrez, encouraged violence in a Twitter statement on January the 6th. The platform is looking to create a new emote to replace the iconic image. So the PogChamp emote has been a staple of Twitch chatters and even the internet lexicon for almost a decade. However, the platform is looking to wipe its existence on January 6th off the back of controversial statements made by the face of the emote. Ryan Gutierrez wrote a tweet about protests in America, which the platform deemed was encouraging further violence. We've made the decision to remove the PogChamp emote following statements from the face of the emote encouraging further violence after what took place in the Capitol today, the platform wrote in their January the 6th statement. We want the sentiment and the use of Pog to live on. Its meaning is much bigger than the person depicted or image itself, and it has a big place in Twitch culture. However, we can, in good conscience, continue to enable the use of the image. Twitch is looking to work with the community on a replacement emote that encapsulates the most hype moments. However, they're yet to share the exact process in how they'll do so. The emote has various forms on the platform through the use of BTTV, that's Better Twitch TV, which a few people don't know about, but there you go, get your jazzy emotes through there. Anyway, an extension that gives users more variety in chat. These emotes are yet to be taken down. The PogChamp emote dates back to 2010 from an outtake of one of Gutierrez's videos. The emote was added to Twitch in 2012 and was one of the first global emotes viewers could use. Streamers have reacted to its removal as it was formerly one of their most popular emotes available. XQC understood Twitch's decision and other streamers called for it to be replaced by other streamers doing a similar face. PogChamp, as well as derivatives like Pog and Poggers, have worked their way into the internet's vocabulary since becoming popularized in recent years. So there you go. Actually, I've not tried to see. Is it definitely gone yet? What have you guys tried to use it?
I've just tried to search for it then.
So So you can see just how influential it is. So Pride Pog. There you go. That was I just searched for Pog, and that was the one that came up. It's been used and encapsulated many different ways because it's a phrase that Twitch chat rooms have been using for the last decade. But what do you guys think? Are you happy that the emote has been removed? Would you like to see the original one back, or would you prefer to see something that is a little bit more culturally sensitive based on what has happened? What are your thoughts? Let's jump back in the chat. I didn't buy Fallout 76, thankfully, says Tito. Avengers mechanics are fantastic. The issue is a total lack of content, says Spike. I agree. I mean, I only played the first few hours on stream, and mechanically, wonderful. But I didn't get to the point where the content was an issue for me. So I still have Avengers in mind as a wonderful game because I only played the intro. I remember seeing the crew being shown at PAX East, and I was genuinely hyped for its potential. Thank goodness I didn't buy that or its lame duck sequel. When you read the story of Anthem and you realise the whole game was developed from that 5-minute E3 clip, they had no game. It was just a tech demo. Really? Wow, did not know. Okay, well, that's why. The tech demo was exceptional, but it shouldn't have been a full game. That said, actually, no, never mind. I was going to give spoilers, but never mind. Avengers screams to me an executive saw the single player and went, how can we tack on a live service component? The care and attention the devs paid to creating each character is amazing. The multiplayer element just feels alien to the rest, which that kind of stuff does happen, so you're probably not far from the truth there. Spike says, please, no Pokemon Pog. I would rather have Donald Trump himself doing the Pog face. Yeah. And if he did the fish, it'd be amazing. Beautiful. The best. I can't even do his voice. I was going to full on go Donald Trump, but I'm not going to. Anyway, Lake! Hey, welcome in, Lake. How's things, dude? It doesn't bother me that it's being removed at all. I support the decision for removing it. I mean, this is the thing. Me and Bibi were talking about this before we went live. It shows how big Twitch is and how far it's come, because a lot of the faces in Twitch emotes, a lot of people don't know where they come from. A lot of people don't know who they are. It just exists, and Twitch can be confusing for people that are new in Twitch. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to look at my emotes, and there's one with a guy holding his chin. Lol. There's a guy going, what does that mean? I mean, there you go. There's your new Pog face. I'll do it for you. But you learn it over time, what they're used for, what their meanings are, and so on. And that's nice to see that community growth. But when you anchor to a person from when you were tiny at the beginning, you're always open to this kind of thing. Sorry, what were you going to say then, babe?
It's the people say lol out loud. People will say poggers out loud. Do you know what I mean? So they are ingrained to a lot of people in just their normal vocabulary. They don't even type it. Just say it. So yeah, it's regardless of what side that you are, because I'm not a political person in any stretch of imagination. Most of the time, I'm ignorant to it. And I just don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, you had to tell me what's going on because I muted half the keywords on Twitter. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. It's far too depressing for me. But if someone incites violence on somebody else, it needs to get binned, regardless of what side you're on. If you're inciting violence on someone that ends up leading to someone's death, then fair enough, you might end up being held responsible. But yeah, you couldn't have that on your conscience. Twitch has done the right thing getting rid of it. That is literally all I have to say about it, because I don't know much about anything because I'm a fucking idiot and I'm not woke or whatever it is. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, sentimentally, it's a shame to see it go because it's something that's been around for as long as we've streamed. But yeah, do you know what? Needs must. We'll get a new one. I agree though with what Spike said. I would like to see the emote being remade if they're using other streamers' faces and things like that. Don't use the same people that you always use. If we like even there, I mean, let's bring the article back on stream, and you can see there Pokemon XQC, more top Twitch streamers react to. It was down here. You can guarantee. I mean, there's XQC, there's the Pog, and there's Pokemon. You don't want to see the same people that you see on Twitch's billboards, that you see on Twitch's social media advertising. You don't want to see the same people just going and then having their face cut out. Absolutely want to see Bibi doing it. Get Bibi doing it. God.
I did see, actually, someone sent a tweet out saying Twitch, if they have the API to be able to do it, if all the partnered streamers or if all the streamers on the chat on Twitch wanted to submit their Pogger's face towards it, that if someone typed it, it would just randomize the entire database for everyone who'd submitted their Pogger's face.
That'd be class.
Yeah, so it'd just be a different one every single. You would never get the same one twice. With how many streamers there is on Twitch, if they could have an API that would be able to do that, that would be absolutely fantastic.
You just absolutely know that's going to get spammed though. Someone's going to have a proper bum hole, an actual bum hole. Imagine typing Pog in Shroud's chat and a bum hole comes up.
Well, obviously, it would have to be vetted somewhere down the line, but yeah, I mean, something like that would be amazing, really, because you could type in Poggers and then someone would come up, but it'll say like ICU Poggers, and then it'll be like your face, so you'd get to know, you get to be aware of other streamers down the line. I think that's amazing. I think that would be amazing.
The cat's arrived. The cat's here. Jump on the windowsill. She's opened the door and strolled in. It's behind you.
Don't move. She's underneath her now.
Yeah, but the other thing that you've forgotten there though is you're happy to see other people's emotes in your chat. By the way, if you're in the chat and you've got an emote from another channel that you particularly like, feel free to drop it now so we can have a look. But a lot of big streamers, there was a conversation last year where streamers were saying, like big streamers were saying, I think it's weird when people come in and use their own emotes in my channel, and it's like, why? What's the problem with that? It's like it's a form of self-advertising. It's not. It's a function within the platform. And like these little streamers might not be doing it to spam their own emotes for self-advertising. They might just know their keyboard shortcuts and it's easy to use. Or they may be the only emotes that channel has because they don't have the money to subscribe to someone else. Or maybe they've paid money for someone to design these and they love the work the designer's done and put it in. So I love the idea of random emotes and people just going Pog and we just seeing some guy from either South Shields or South Africa just popping up in the field. I'm not asked. But yeah, the big streamers absolutely wouldn't love that. No, it needs to be one of three people. It needs to be Pokimane, XQC. To be fair, I've never really watched Pokimane or XQC, so I can't really criticize any of them. But yeah, I get the sentiment of that. It needs to be a communal thing or a universal none of them thing rather than just someone else. That article on Anthem is fantastic. Is it? Oh, there we go. Tito's linked the Kotaku. I'm going to open that and I'll keep that one for when I'm off the stream. Maybe should do resting bitch face emote.
Not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, to be fair, if that's what the people wanted, I mean, we got an ish emote. That's what the people wanted, so that'll be perfect.
You goddamn right. What was it? Let's have an ICU Poggers, said Thomas Adam. Do you know what? I'll take it on myself. I've got you. I mean, we'll do the full on GIF because the Poggers is made out of a GIF of him kind of going like kind of thing like that. I'll do it. I've got it. I'll do it. It's fine. I've got you. I'm not really gonna do it, but I might do one day. You never know.
I was just waiting for someone to clip it and just go on Twitter in a bit.
Okay, if you're gonna clip it, let me at least full on shave my beard and stuff. This is gonna like live on forever in the realms of Twitch. So yeah, we need an ICU Pog. So the next time Madge subscribes and it goes through his lids and we can hear I sup pish, we can have I sup Pog. Anyway, Madge, thank you very much for the sub, but we are going to call it there. A potentially long stream because we're 48 minutes in and we were quite long before.
Nearly 2 hours.
Whew, a long old stream.
Thank you. It dropped out, didn't it?
It
did,
so
it's going to be a two-parter. This is going to be a ball ache, but it's going to be a two-parter. So if you are watching this on YouTube and you've only seen part 2, go back to part 1, please.
Burp. We can't even put that at the beginning. That's a shame. Fuck. Although we'll just
it will be listed accordingly. It will just say part 2. Yeah. Same with the podcast. If you are listening to this on any like Spotify or anything, this is part 2. If you've missed half of the conversation, literally an hour's worth of conversation, go and find part 1. It's a belter today. It's an absolute belter.
It's a bit awkward. We know you've just seen the end. Spoilers. But if you want to see the beginning, yeah, go back. No, to be fair, if you did miss the first episode, the first part of this, it was talking about Microsoft trying to buy Nintendo's, EA's, Midway's, and others. And there was about a 50-minute conversation just on that on its own. So it's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, there we go. We are going to wrap things up. Like I said, I may jump back on with some PUBG after this. I'm just going to go see how the schooling situation, because obviously we are homeschooling Chloe at the moment, so if she needs any assistance, then I won't jump on. If she doesn't, and she's fine and she's good, then I will. So stick around. I'll leave the channel on the end slate, and then if I do come back live, I'll stop and start again so we don't drop off.
Awesome.
But yeah, nice. Before I do that though, babe, is there anything that you want to add?
Yes, for those of you that aren't aware, it's my wife's birthday today, so I am off tomorrow and on Monday. So I'm guessing Graham will be doing the dollop.
Yeah.
So he's going to be doing the dollop. So if you do have any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, there's 2 ways that you can get hold of us. First of all, find us on all major social media platforms using @IceCreamUploads. You'll be able to find us on there. Second way, get into our Discord. There's an area on there called The Scoop. All you need to do is drop in the URL to the article as well as your thoughts and impressions. Graham will be able to give his thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham?
Tomorrow. Actually, 1 second, making sure. Oh fuck! I've just put the Discord in the middle of all of that. It's because I had this emote on the mind. Tomorrow we will be live at 10 a.m. on the money, ish. Hey, Thomas Adam beat me to it. Thank you very much, dude. And as if on command, we mentioned Pokemon and XQC. Thank you very much for the follow, XQC. On drugs 420. Nice. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Off his tit.
Best way to be during a pandemic. Anyway, we are going to disappear. Thank you everyone for joining us. Well, for me, I might see you in a few with some PUBG, but for Bib, he will see you next week. So until then, Bib, what you got to say?
Guys, you got to stay frosty.